Well, just a week after pausing a shipment of bombs to Israel, the Biden administration is preparing to send a shipment of different weapons to its closest ally in the Middle East. But as Caroline Shively reports, some lawmakers on Capitol Hill are preparing to take action of their own.
The Biden administration plans to send $1 billion shipment in new weapons and ammunition to Israel, while warning the government they have to do more to protect civilians in Gaza.
We can't have chaos and anarchy in Gaza. So there needs to be a clear, concrete plan.
The deal will likely include $700 million in tank ammunition and $500 million in tactical vehicles. It's the first weapons transfer since the White House paused a separate shipment of 3,500 bombs a week ago over concerns a full-scale attack on the crowded city of Rafah could kill a huge number of civilians.
We have paused the shipment of 2,000-pound bombs because we do not believe they should be dropped in densely populated cities.
They need 2,000-pound bombs because Hamas is underground, dug in. They need precision-guided heavy bombs to break up the tunnels.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is set to vote on a Republican bill this week that would force the White House to release any holds on weapons shipments to Israel.
The irony is what Joe Biden is doing for political purposes to try to appease the pro-Hamas, people in his party, I guess, they're pro-Palestinian. He's doing real harm to the cause and the protection of innocent life.
The White House says President Biden would veto the House measure, calling it an infringement on his duties as commander-in-chief. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.